We've seen a huge improvement in the quality of smartphones in the sub 10,000 rupee segment. Low-cost phones are no longer slow or underpowered. One such example is the recently launched Elyt-e7 from Intex. Now, it boasts of some decent specifications, but does it have what it takes to stand up against the Chinese competition? Keep watching to find out. Intex has followed market trends and has opted for a metal back panel for the Elyt-e7, though the frame around it is plastic. Available only in gold, this phone feels well built for its price. The 5.2-inch display is protected by NEG 2.5D glass, and there are non-backlit capacitive touch buttons for navigation below it. The 13-megapixel rear camera has a single LED flash, and the fingerprint scanner is positioned below the camera module. There is a hybrid dual SIM tray on the side. The dimensions of the Intex Elyt-e7 are good for one-handed use, and the metal back curves around the sides, making it comfortable to hold. It weighs 156 grams, which is relatively light considering that there's a 4020 mAh battery inside. The Intex Elyt-e7's 5.2-inch IPS display has an HD resolution. It has good viewing angles and sunlight legibility is decent as well. You get MediaTek's MiraVision technology, which lets you tweak the display output to suit your preferences. Powering the phone is a MediaTek MT6737 quad-core processor clocked at 1.25 GHz along with 3 GB of RAM. There's 32 GB of storage on board, out of which you get close to 24 GB at your disposal. Storage can be expanded up to 128 GB. The Elyt-e7 is a dual SIM device with support for 4G and VoLTE, but you have to give up one of the 2 nano SIM slots if you want to use a microSD card. The Elyt-e7 runs on Android Nougat with few customizations from Intex. The UI is very much like stock Android, but there is a considerable amount of pre-installed bloatware. While most of it can be uninstalled, you'll need to live with a few unwanted apps. We found the Intex Care app and UC browser to be very spammy, as notifications would pop up at least once a day. You can double tap the screen to wake the phone, and there are also other gestures which allow you to launch apps by drawing alphabets on the screen. Unlocking the device isn't much of an issue, as the fingerprint scanner is quite accurate. The Elyt-e7 can handle ordinary usage quite well, but the low-end processor results in longer load times for apps and games. There's enough RAM to keep frequently used apps in memory. At the end of the day, we had about 1.5 GB of RAM free after light to medium use. Graphics performance is also weak, and this is visible in fast-paced games like Breakneck, where the phone drops frames and stutters. When it comes to battery life, the phone managed 12 hours and 18 minutes in our HD video loop test and could go on for more than a day and a half with light usage. With medium to heavy use, the battery life goes down to 1 day. The Elyt-e7 sports a 13-megapixel camera with an f2.2 aperture at the back along with a single LED flash. The camera app is quite basic with only panorama and beautification modes. Auto scene detection is available but is switched off by default. With no manual controls, enabling auto scene detection is your best shot at getting better images. However, when it is switched on, the toggle for the front camera is disabled, which is quite weird. So you'll manually have to disable auto scene detection every time you need to use the front camera. Photos taken with this phone in daylight are average at best. We found that it struggled with light metering and would overexpose some shots quite badly. Some photos did come out well, but objects at a distance lacked detail. Photos shot in low light were pretty much unusable. In most cases, the camera drops the shutter speed while maintaining a low ISO, which results in dark and somewhat blurry photos. Occasionally, the camera does bump the ISO up, but the shutter speed remains low, forcing you to hold the camera steady all the time. Video recording goes up to HD resolution for the rear camera, and we found some lag in the viewfinder, which was also visible in the output. Selfies lack detail as well, but were decent enough to be shared on messaging apps. Budget phones keep improving, but the Intex Elyt-e7 still has a few rough edges. We did like the build quality of this device, and the battery life was quite good. With the MediaTek 6737 SoC and 3 GB of RAM, it does deliver a decent experience for the price. Camera performance is average in daytime but gets worse in low light conditions. If photo quality isn't your top priority, then you might be able to live with the Intex Elyt-e7. But if you want an all-rounder, take a look at the Xiaomi Redmi 4 instead. Thanks for watching. Do hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at Gadgets360.